boom. Here's the plate take. We're out about 10 yards here. Okay, now this is 357 Magnum, so it's going to make a pretty good, it's going to hit them pretty hard. You know, this is a great gun. Ruger came out with this after World War II because Colt had discontinued making the single action army. In the 50s, cowboy westerns were real popular. Everything cowboy was very popular. That was when I was a kid. You know, all the shows were cowboy shows on black and white TV. So everything cowboy was very popular, and so Ruger took advantage of that. Came out with the Blackhawk. They'd already come out with the 22, and they came out with this one in 38 Special and 357 Magnum, and it's patterned after a Colt, sort of, except for it's a lot beefier, a lot more heavy. It'll shoot 357 Magnum all day long, and it is very rugged. It's a heavy gun. It also has sights on it. It's got adjustable sights in the rear. It's got a trigger block safety on it, so you can carry 6 in the cylinder because it doesn't have a spur anymore. It doesn't have a spur on the hammer like the old Colts did, and it's got a safety bar in here. And when you pull the trigger and hold it, you let the hammer come forward. When your finger's still on the trigger, it allows that bar to stay up, and the bar then fills up the empty space between the face of the hammer and the firing pin and lets it fire. And but it makes it drop safe. So if your finger hasn't pulled the trigger, that bar's not up, and you can drop it all day, and the hammer is not going to drive the firing pin in and hit anything. So you can carry 6 in it, and hard-hitting 357 Magnum, which is very nice. And the gun's heavy. You don't even feel the recoil at all. This is a great gun to introduce people to 357 Magnum because it is so heavy that you don't feel the recoil. But it's a very nice gun. This one, this particular gun, and you can have a little bit of a close-up. We'll do a real close-up of it when we're done. But I bought this one used. This is a 1981, I think, vintage gun. It's a new model Blackhawk, and the new models came out in the early 70s, I think 72, something like that. And they had the trigger bar safety on them, and that was an upgrade to the original ones. And they called it the new model. So if you've got a new model, it's probably got the bar safety on there, trigger bar safety. But really fun gun to shoot. You know, this is, if you like cowboy stuff, this is a single action army on steroids. I've got a single action army clone from Uberti, and this is probably twice as heavy. This is heavy. But boy, when you pack this baby, you know you're packing it. When you shoot it, you don't feel it, which is nice. Okay. Now, obviously, you're not going to conceal it very well, so it may not be the best concealed carry gun around. But boy, it packs a punch. And but we're going to shoot it, and I'm going to load her up. And with the 357 Magnum, I got a few left. I need to reload some, but I got a few left. We're going to reload them, shoot down there on the targets. We'll do a couple of shots of the gun shooting, and then of course the targets blowing up, you know, the dramatic effect. And we'll do that right now. Here we go. Okay, I hope that turned out. Hit those hedge apples pretty hard. We're going to unload now. Of Of course, you do it like the old Colt single actions, you know, you just poke them out one at a time. All right, we're clear. We're going to load up again, and we'll shoot some more. All right, so here's how we load the gun. You just drop those rounds in, rotate the cylinder around, got the loading gate open, and you just drop them in there. They slide right down there, and it'll take 6. These 357s, and you know, a lot of guys with the old Colts, they'll load one, skip one, and only load 5. With this one, you can load 6. So it's a modern cowboy gun. All right, so here we go, shooting on the target. We've used up just about all the 357 I had left, so we'll go down and take a closer look at this gun and call it. But this is a very nice gun. If you could get one, they're quite expensive if you buy it brand new. But if you can get a used one like I did, pawn shop or used, I think I got this in at Cabela's used. If you can get a used one, pretty sweet deal. I definitely get it. They're definitely worth it, and they shoot a very hard-hitting round. Could be used for a lot of things. So you could probably even hunt with them if you had to. You know, if it was a dire straits kind of thing. But let's go down and take a look at the targets, and we'll take a closer look at the gun. Well, here's the debris, the head jappel debris. What's left of them. Let's look at the target. I did put some on the target. I did a couple of headshots from out there about 10 yards or so, and they were all pretty good hits. I hit pretty much just what I was aiming at right there, center of chest, and a couple in the head right there. Now the thing here is, with a round that hits as hard as this 357 does, those would probably be man stoppers, without a doubt. They would have been stopper shots. 357 is not going to mess around. It's got a lot of velocity, hits real hard. So it could be used for personal defense. Could be used for killing hedge apples like that. Or it could be used for, you know, just for fun. 357, unless you reload, could be a little pricey, but you start reloading and you can manage it. So let's take a closer look at the gun now. Okay, here we are, 357 Magnum, Ruger, Blackhawk. You can see that this one's got a little wear on it. I did buy it used, but I did save some money buying it that way. It resembles the single action Army Colts, other than it's got that adjustable sights right there. And we'll look down inside and you can see the transfer bar. See that transfer bar right there? When you pull the trigger, that transfer bar comes up. And there's the firing pin. You can see the firing pin right above the bar, and when I pull the trigger, it raises that bar up into position. You can see it come up as I lower the hammer, and then as long as I keep the hammer down, that allows the hammer to hit the bar, and then the bar hits the firing pin. But if it's just this way I haven't pulled the trigger, then if something hits this hammer, that's not going to drive through and cause the gun to go off. So that's a safety. And a nice gun, real nice gun. You can see we've unloaded it. You can see there's no cartridges in it. It's got a pretty good muzzle there. 357 Magnum. That's not kidding around. That's high-end stuff. This has some relatives. There's some bigger bore versions of this that are other Hawks, Red Hawk, I think, and some other things. But this one's just about right, I think. And if we turn it over, maybe you can read the where it says new model Ruger 357 Magnum, new model Blackhawk. Hopefully you can see that there. I think right there. So if it's a new model, it's got the safeties on it. Of course, nowadays, you know, like I said, this one was made in 1981 or so, and it's a new model, so it's not exactly new anymore, but newer than the originals, I suppose. But that's it. Nice gun. I like it, and you know, I'm kind of like cowboy stuff. I never kind of outgrew it, I guess, and so when I saw this one, I thought, you know, that is cool. Let's get that grass off of there. That is a cool gun. And so there it is. Hope you like this, and it definitely does a job on hedge apples, so if you got to get rid of some of those, this is the gun to do it. See you later.